I'm Dr. Nathan Cashin, and these are the headlines for This Week in Chiropractic, January 21st, 2021. The World Federation of Chiropractic has announced that they've elected Carlos Iris as president of the World Federation of Chiropractic. Dr. Iris is the first appointment from Latin America to hold the office in the 33-year history, and this comes quite quickly after the previous president, Vivian Lin, announced her resignation probably less than 2 weeks ago. Controversy continues in the world of Wikipedia, where the chiropractic page has once again been updated to include some questionable descriptions, namely that chiropractic is a pseudoscientific complementary and alternative medicine that is concerned with the diagnosis and treatment of medical disorders of the musculoskeletal system. Now, I don't have much problem with that other than the pseudoscientific, but if you do look at the vision history, there are quite a few changes that have been pushed down by the people in control of that page. So continues to be a source of controversy for many. The American Chiropractic Association's annual meeting and conference is coming up in 2 weeks. ACA Engage 2021 replaces what used to be called NCLC, or the National Chiropractic Leadership Conference. Registration is still open. The early bird rates have ended, but regular registration ends January 29, and the cost is $149 per ACA member. The conference will be virtual completely and will offer up to 10 continuing education credits. In research, a paper from the Journal of Internal Medicine describes increased use of complementary and alternative therapies for back pain following statewide Medicaid coverage changes in Oregon. In 2016, Oregon introduced a policy to improve back pain treatment and to reduce opioid prescribing, and results show that the use of any complementary and alternative medicine service increased from about 8% prior to the policy to 31% after the policy, showing that there's significant heterogeneity among those who want to uptake these services, and it certainly shows some demand for complementary and alternative medicine. That is it for the headlines for This Week in Chiropractic. And those of you who've maybe watching on Twitch, what I now do is talk a little bit more about each of these things. So, super pumped to see a Latin American individual being elected to president of the World Federation of Chiropractic. I'm quite surprised how quick this came. I was looking forward to a short term of an interim leadership from Michelle Myers, but this is a great move, I think. Dr. Ayres began pre-med in Peru and then learned about chiropractic and went to the New York Chiropractic College, graduating in 1981. He says, "I have never regretted changing my career direction and feel that I am in the best profession. I always wanted to help people by being part of a health profession. As a chiropractor, I derive great satisfaction from seeing people get better without the use of drugs and surgery." It'll be interesting to see what changes may come, if any, and where the leadership of the WFC goes. Lately, there has been a move towards emphasizing evidence-based with the release of the 20 principles, with the Be Epic campaign. But also, there's been some turmoil with the resignation of the research committee previous to this year. So chiropractic on Wikipedia has just been a mishmash of really it's a page that's kind of controlled by a small group of people who are very anti-pseudoscience, namely Edzard Ernst, namely the people behind science-based medicine. And if you go through the first few references, it's pretty notable once you get to the controversial stuff. And if I can remember where this was, here we go. Not sufficient data, referenced by Ernst. I think Ernst is not on that one. Ernst, and another one by Ernst. So Edzard Ernst has a blog about complementary and alternative medicine. He's a professor of this in England, now retired, I believe. He and Jan Bellamy and Mark Crislip, who actually I've had on the podcast early on, it seems like it's a group of them, or at least people influenced by them, who manage this page. And of course, Wikipedia is open. You can see all of the changes, all of the recommended changes, but then you can see how many of them were downvoted and denied. And many of these are seem to be quite reasonable. Now, this attempted author is saying that this is misinformation and bias. The authors are cherry-picking research studies and not current with today's chiropractic profession, which I would agree with. But these changes obviously were downvoted, and you just have to wonder who's behind that. I think, I've said this before, that right now it's a futile attempt to change this. Many people, Mark Bronson, many others, have tried to change us to reflect evidence-based chiropractic without any success. I think what we need to do is to create Wikipedia pages about those in chiropractic who we want to highlight. Jan Hartviksen, Scott Haldeman, people who are pushing the profession forward, who are doing research, Andre Bussière, Donald Murphy. Make some pages about these people. There's historic pages, right? You could look up Clarence Gonstead and see a picture of a reference to Mount Horeb. I thought they had a picture of his airplane here. But if you look at people who we would want to be known, they're not on here at all. So I think that's where we start. Start with some of the modalities and stop trying to kick against pricks, as they say. Looking forward to ACA Engage coming up here in 2 weeks. It'll be interesting how this goes. I've registered and I have logged into their platform, which I'm always hesitant about, these virtual platforms. But this one, it's really just a schedule and links to jump in. It was quite easy to use other than not creating a login. You have to use the link in your email. And so I tried on multiple devices and had trouble so far. But many speakers have been invited. A lot about billing and coding, it seems, and then plenty else for the younger crew. And so this is going to be looking forward to this, and a lot of it's pre-recorded, and up to 10 CEs, 7 of them pre-recorded, and then 3 are live. And there's a lot of live follow-up meetings to the pre-recorded. This research article caught my eye because I now live in Oregon, and what I find interesting, in 2016, policy was changed to increase use of CAM utilization, specifically for those with low back pain. And there was a huge uptick, up to an increase of almost 20%. So going from 8% to almost 31% utilization rate, which was quite surprising. This included acupuncture, included chiropractic, which specifically went from 0.3 to 11.1%. And again, this is in Medicaid. And massage increased, PTOT increased quite a bit, osteopathic increased a little bit. I think it shows demand. I think it shows the importance of providing these and allowing for these. My understanding, and I'm not in practice in Oregon, not licensed again yet, so I'm not totally up to date, but it seems to me that I've seen chatter about a lot of policy changes reducing payments for a lot of the services provided by chiropractic. So interesting to see or hear about these changes. But this was a pretty cool research study, I think, that shows a lot of need for complementary and alternative medicine. All right, that's it for This Week in Chiropractic of January 21. 2021. And again, this has been an experiment, trying to streamline it and get it to where it's nice and easy. If you have recommendations for how to go about this, please drop me a line. You can find me on all social media at Exploring Chiro, and you can send me an email via nathan@exploringchiropractic.com, or just visit my website, exploringchiropractic.com. Check out some of the recent videos that I had streamed to Twitch, but they are recorded to YouTube, and send me a message and email. Let me know what stories you'd like to hear about, and I'd love to get some interviews going on this once it gets going. So that is it for today. Enjoy your weekend.